A very good afternoon, everyone. Today, we are going to discuss a very important topic as far as any entrance examination is concerned. We are going to talk about the Indian Constitution. Further, we are going to look which forces led to the creation of a constitution and also what exactly was the need for the creation of the constitution. We are also going to discuss the preamble, that is the first page of a constitution, and also the various sources from which various concepts of a constitution has been or have been borrowed. So if you are new to this channel, please do not forget to like, share and subscribe. So if I ask you who was the first person who demanded for the constitution, so he was some M.N. Roy. He was basically the founder of the Communist Party of India. He demanded for the same in the year 1934. Then subsequently it was also demanded by Congress. In which session? In basically the Haripura session in Gujarat in 1938. Right. Now finally when India was about to get independence, okay, so cabinet mission plan came to India. So, who were its members? Sir Stafford Cripps, Pethick Lawrence, along with A.V. Alexander. Okay, they arrived in India in the year 1946 to discuss the transfer of power from the British government to the Indian political leadership. So what basically they did was they founded a constituent assembly. So what was the work of this assembly? Basically to frame the Indian constitution. So if I ask you what is constitution, it is basically a set of rules regarding how the country will be run. Okay. Now, Mr. Sachidanand Sinha was appointed as its temporary chairman, and later Sir Dr. Rajendra Prasad was appointed as its permanent chairman. Now, when we talk about its adoption and implementation, it was basically adopted on 26th November 1949. Okay, but as far as its implementation is concerned, it was implemented on 26th January 1950. So, 26th November since 1979 was celebrated as legal day, but from 2015 we have been celebrating it as the Constitution Day of the country. So this is very important. So Constitution Day is celebrated when? On 26th of November, right? Now, Sir Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, as we all know, is known as the father of the Constitution. Why do we call him so? Because he had a very important role in drafting the Constitution as well as the ratification of the Constitution. See, drafting is one thing is you are making various laws or various concepts or rules in the constitution, but ratification is also very important. That is, it has to be made legal, so everyone has to approve it. So he also played a very important role in ratifying the constitution, right? Now, so, if I ask you what is the first thing, what is the first page of the constitution, it is basically the preamble of a country. Okay, preamble is basically the first page or chapter in the constitution. Now, what is a preamble? See, preamble of the constitution presents the principles of the constitution. Okay, it declares India to be sovereign, secular and democratic republic. So what does this mean? Basically, see, sovereign means that we are absolutely independent. Okay, we are not dependent on any other country. And also socialist means that we are a country which believes in the distribution of wealth. We do not believe in the accumulation of wealth in few hands. We are working for the welfare of the society. Okay, so government will be framing certain policies which are for the welfare of every individual. Okay, especially the unprivileged. Then secular is, see, secular is when we say that there is no state religion, everyone is free to follow their own religion, right? And then democratic means that we are free to choose our own government. Okay, we have the right to vote, right everyone? And also we are republican. So what does republic mean? Republic is basically when the head of the state is not a hereditary monarch, okay, like a king, but a president who is elected by the people for a definite period of time. Very right. Okay, so preamble is basically presenting the principles of the constitution, and it declares a country to be a sovereign, socialist, secular and democratic republic. Now the objectives of the constitution. So what are the goals of the constitution? It states that those are to secure justice to every person, liberty, okay, every person should be having a liberty, and every person is equal in the eyes of law, right everyone? Now the words socialist, secular and integrity, so these three words were added through the 42nd amendment, constitutional amendment, which happened in the year 1976. So apart from the word sovereign, okay, apart from the word socialist and sovereign, these three words were also added later, right everyone? Now this is how the preamble of our constitution looks like. So what is it written over here? We the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure all its citizens justice. Which kind of justice? Social, economic and political justice. Okay, liberty. Which kind of liberty? Of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship. Equality of status and opportunities in anything, for example jobs and all. And to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. So in our constituent assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this constitution. So 26th of November is basically now celebrated as Constitution Day, right everyone? So what is constitution? We have discussed about preamble. Okay, now what is exactly constitution? So see, as I said, it is a set of rules regarding how the country will be governed. See, for a country to be run, we need to have certain rules. We need to know what are the duties, responsibilities of people, okay, of the government. So simply put, it is a document which seeks to establish duties, powers and functions among the center, state and panchayati raj system. So this is very simple. We have a center, we have a state and we have panchayati raj, and everyone is having their own powers, their own responsibilities, their own duties, right? So it also talks about the fundamental rights and fundamental duties of the citizens. So also citizens are taken into consideration. We have our own fundamental rights, okay, and we also have certain duties, fundamental duties, right? And we can also vote. Okay, so there is universal adult franchisee, wherein everyone above the age of 18 years can vote also. Now when we talk about what exactly, how many parts or articles or schedules are there in a constitution? So currently we have 25 parts in it, 448 articles and 12 schedules. Okay, so the Indian constitution is the lengthiest constitution in the world. Why so? Because we have adopted various concepts from various countries of the world. We will be discussing them in this lecture. So we have borrowed many concepts, as I said, because we wanted to adopt the best features in a constitution. Now let us discuss the various sources of Indian constitution. So when we talk about US constitution, what have we borrowed? The first thing is the fundamental rights, like right to equality, okay, right to freedom, freedom of religion, right? So these are basically the fundamental rights that we have borrowed from US. Now independence of judiciary, yes, that the judiciary, we all know there are three organs of the system: executive, legislative and judiciary. So judiciary will be what? Independent. Okay, so there will be no coercion of force on the judiciary. It can take its own independent decision, right? Now when we talk about removal of Supreme Court and High Court judges, so the procedure of this has been adopted from US Constitution. And also there will be a post of vice president that has also been taken from US. Now when we talk about what we have adopted from British Constitution, see, there will be a parliamentary form of government. What does mean this means is that there will be a parliament where the decisions or basically laws will be made. Okay, laws will be made in the parliament, and also there will be bicameralism form of government. That is, there will be two houses in the parliament, that is Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, that is the upper house, lower house and the upper house. And there will be rule of law. Everything, for everything there will be a law. We all know various laws are there, whether we talk about the business law, industrial law, companies law, criminal law. So there are many types of laws that will be there. Okay, then there will be single citizenship. That is, every person will be having only one citizenship. No two, more than one. Okay, two or three can't be possible. Only one citizenship. And as I discussed, there will be bicameralism. That is two houses in the parliament. That is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Now, when we talk about Irish Constitution, what have we adopted from it? We have taken the directive principles of state policy. So, hope everyone knows this. See, it has been mentioned in the Constitution that the state will be working towards the progress of the people. Okay, so it will be making certain policies which are especially for the welfare of people, that is infrastructure and all, right? Nominated members in Rajya Sabha to be appointed by the president. Yes. So we all know in Rajya Sabha there can be maximum 250 members. Okay, and 12 of them would be nominated by the president. Okay, so this was taken from Irish Constitution. Now, what is the method of election of president? What will be the method of how to elect the president of the country? That is also being taken from Irish Constitution. Now, Constitution of Germany. So we have taken from here that we can, or the country can, suspend the fundamental rights during emergency, whenever there is, whether national emergency, financial emergency, okay, any kind of emergency, we can suspend the fundamental rights. Now, when we talk about Canadian Constitution, so we have basically focused over here on the strong center. Okay, the center will be very strong. It will be having the residuary powers. Okay, that is, the main power will be in the hands of the center. It will be the most powerful among all the powers like center, state and Panchayati Raj. Now, advisory jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. So it can also take advice from the Supreme Court regarding, let's say, when it wants to make any kind of law. So it can take advice from the Supreme Court. Now, Australian Constitution, what have we borrowed? We have basically borrowed the concurrent list. So we all know that we have three kinds of lists, right? In the 7th schedule, it is being mentioned that there will be three lists: center, state and concurrent. So center state list talks about all the subjects on which center can make the laws, whereas state list talks about the state subjects, and concurrent list talks about all the subjects on which both the center and state can make laws, right everyone? So this has been borrowed from Australian Constitution, very right. So when we talk about the Soviet Constitution, that is the Russian Constitution, so what have we borrowed from over here? The fundamental duties. Okay, the fundamental duties of every citizen is being borrowed from here, and also the ideals of justice, like what kind of justice we can get, social, economic and political, which is also mentioned in a preamble of the Constitution, right everyone? I hope you have understood everything. If you like this video, please do not forget to like, share and subscribe.